Hey, Eric here from Games for Hyper. V3 is coming, all the new releases are coming. And these things will include questing systems, new loot systems like categorization mappers on the game mode, breakable objects like this, and all kinds of other improvements and new systems. And I'm really excited about it. Also, environment building toolkits like creating caves like this, creating props like this. It's a lot. Basically, we've calculated it, and our whole toolkit right now is over 50,000 hours of work together in the past, I think 5 years or so. And these systems include a lot, and obviously you have a lot of questions. Today, this video, I want to answer these questions for you. In the Discord, we have gathered all kinds of questions from you. I have this document right here. And I try to categorize your questions. And basically, I saw a couple of categories about estimated time of arrival, compatibility, saving, updates on existing systems, some Misc, some question about the templates, questing, V2 to V3, courses, and abilities. I will try to answer these questions as best as I can. Let's try and dive into it. And I think we should start with the first and foremost, the important question, and that is the estimated time of arrival. And my answer for that is quite simple. It's very soon. Currently, basically everything is finished, and we are currently in the review process at Epic and sending over the files and things like that. However, we have so much. There are so many assets that we are currently working on. Check out this folder structure. All of these are different systems, and there's a lot to review. Also at Epic, but also we get some feedback. We get things like, oh, you need to change some file names and things like that. So I don't want to publish assets and then need to update it again within 1 day and then 2 days, etc. So I'm trying to migrate everything at once right now at Epic, get most of the feedback, and after that, try to release all the systems one by one when they are finished reviewing. It is good to know here that before I'm going to release the new systems, I am going to make sure that all the existing modules are getting an update. And these updates will, I think we should call it the V3 version, because the core structure has been changed a lot. And this will be updated only on the latest engine version. And currently that is 5.5. I assume that 5.6 is coming real soon, but for now, the release date I think is going to be on 5.5. So if you want to download the old version, the V2, you should download the versions like 5.4, 5.3, etc. And the V3 version will be put into the 5.5 version. Then another question about releases, that is about the priority of the release as well. The priority is first updating all the existing assets. The second one is try to make sure that all the key assets like saving, mesh to active swap system, phishing, things like that are published. After that, more focus on the RPG related assets. And after that, the more shooter related assets. The reason why the shooter has a couple of different modules that you don't really use in a RPG or a survival type of game. So therefore, I try to focus first on all the survival assets, RPG, and then the shooter. But again, it also depends a bit on what first is accepted at Epic and things like that. Something extra about releases, and that is currently I am focusing on only releasing all the separate modules. Because the templates just need a bit more of work, combining everything together, make a map, make sure there's a great demo, and make sure there's a great experience, maybe find some new features or a couple of bugs that we didn't see in the separate modules, but only arise when we put everything together. So instead of delaying everything, I chose to say, hey, let's release the modules now. And after that, focus on the templates. And the first template will be the RPG one, and after that, more the shooter-related ones. And the survival one is obviously already there. Some also ask me, hey, I want everything together. I want all of these systems in one package. Well, I can do that. However, it's so much. It's way too much for most of them. And also the value of all of these things, it's a lot. And trying to make an affordable package on the marketplace, if you put all of these systems together in one system, then it simply does not become really affordable anymore to most of the people, especially since my current template is already on the higher price. Nevertheless, I do think I'm going to make such an ultimate package or whatever, and try to make it available only to a couple of people. I don't think I'm going to put it on Fab, but just for some people that really want everything together. But that's in the final stages. First, we need to have all the modules, then the templates, and eventually try to provide the whole experience. And basically, what it is, it's a game in a box. So it is like a complete game like The Forest. It's like Rust. It's like Ark. It's like Skyrim. GTA, maybe some kind of aspects. Call of Duty. What else? Maybe even some MMO type games. Basically, our modules are designed like that we can make about 10 different game types we identified recently. And I think we are going to try and make some of these demos eventually. But for now, I really want to focus on publishing this for you. On to the next section, and that is compatibility. Are all the new systems compatible with multiplayer? Everything will be compatible with multiplayer, except currently the quest system. We designed to, well, it is multiplayer ready. However, we designed it so that people can have their own quest at the same time. So that means that I am playing and someone else is playing, and both have their own quest list and dialogues and things like that. I do think it is valuable if I eventually try to make this for more co-op system, so that we have one quest manager that defines everything for the whole game. So that's more like, I think The Forest has that, or Sons of the Forest. But currently now we try to make it more individual. So that's more like an MMO-based or story-based type of games. The next question is, are all of your V3 modules compatible with each other or across pack types like first-person shooter, RPG, survival, horror, whatever? And the answer is yes. Everything that you see right here is compatible with each other. There is, there's one exception, but that's not really, it is compatible. However, we have our online multiplayer framework. That one has playlists defined for more like shooter type games of Rainbow Six Siege or Call of Duty, things like that. And obviously, you can use it in a survival game, but that's a bit weird. So yeah, it does work. However, I don't see any reason to combine things like that. Obviously, you want to have a server browser, host settings, things like that, but I don't think you want arena-based battling systems and team deathmatch points in a survival game. So if you want, you can. It does work, but it's not needed. Next questions are all about saving. And The question is, are the new systems and the ones that will be updated already integrated to the save system, including multiplayer? And the answer is yes. And that's why I developed the save system. That's why we developed the save system, because the support load of questions about saving is a lot, and I would like to provide a one-stop shop so that you can say, hey, it simply just works. So let's check out the inventory system as an example. Let me check. So this is our inventory component. And if we go to our class settings, yeah, then this one has a BPI savable component assigned. That's an interface that is useful for our save system. On load, it doesn't need to do anything on load. On save, this one also doesn't need to do anything on save, because it doesn't need any manual configurations. So that means that probably things like this, the checkboxes for the save game flag that we use in our system to serialize the data, are already set up. And currently this example, the inventory system doesn't need any manual configuration for the saving. However, I know that the equipment manager does. Because when you spawn, you want to reattach the equipment and things like that, and you spawn the character. So what we do right here on the interface, saving and loading right here. So on save, we get our saved equipment, clear it, we loop over it, and add it again if it's not empty. But when we load again, then we're going to check, hey, was the equipment from the saving system? And we are going to equip all the equipment again to the character. And that's some logic that we need for reinitializing, attaching the actors to a character and things like that. We all have figured it out and tried to implement it already. So that means if you have our save system, things like this will work, which is awesome. Couple of notes. Saving, sometimes you want to save things differently. For instance, if you have like an MMO type of game, or you have a co-op game, or you have a single player game, sometimes you would like to save things differently. And that is up to you. We try to define it as best as possible for most of the use cases. However, if you have like a very specific type or desire for saving and loading something, it's possible. However, that is something that you need to do yourself. However, we provide documentation for that. I see another question is about, will it work in world partition? Yes, it will. It will also work in level streaming. It will also work in server travel, in co-op games, things like that. That was a lot of work, but it works. And we are really, really happy with that. Will the save system be modular enough so we can choose if we use it or another save system? Well, and this save system is not modular enough, then you simply don't need to implement this save system. So you can choose another save system. However, then you need to implement it yourself, obviously. That's up to you. Yeah. All right, what's next? Updates on existing systems. Will there be any changes to the UI manager? Well, I think the current version already uses Common UI. And currently, I'm just in love with Common UI, and I'm using it nearly everywhere. So basically, only thing that I think is changed is that there is more Common UI used throughout the project. Another thing is, let me show you. A lot of people want to use tab for opening and closing the inventory, or pressing I. So I did add that. I hope that makes people happy. So yeah, it's now basically integrated itself. Ooh, and there's another change in this system. You see the top bar right here. Previously, you needed to have different UI elements per system. and make different screens. Currently, I created a HUD auto create, and basically based upon which component you have right now in your on your character or on your controller and things like that, it simply auto generates all of these tabs, which is awesome. So you don't have to select any UI tabs anymore. It simply just generates this, which is cool. And basically, it's just determining it based upon your system. Nice. Has there been any kind of update regarding the AI? Well, we created an advanced AI system based on the new state trees. And this AI system is called our NPC behavior framework. And it's awesome. It's based on state tree. And basically what we will do is it will be definitely the best AI system on the marketplace. We will be able to have interactions like socializing, combat simulations. We have fleeing behaviors, cutting down trees, spawning abilities, moving along spline, pick up ground items, move to locations between waypoints, or choose splines if you want to have that one. Routine management based on time, things like that. It's amazing. This will be an optional module, obviously. We spent basically a year on this, and we are really happy with the result. This system will be used also for DAREs, like fleeing behavior, perception systems for stealth, things like that. It is really cool. Will there be any significant changes to the combat system? And yes, there will. It's massive, the amount of changes. First, let me show you just some quick and cool things. So basically, let's start with this one. Currently, when we are walking around, I need to fix that arm still. But when we're walking around like this, let's grab a weapon that doesn't have that IK issue. So while walking, we are able to attack. However, before this, we only had the root motion animation. So currently, when standing still, this is a root motion animation, as you can see, right? But if we are running, then we can do that attack dynamically. And it switches automatically based on, okay, what's your current speed? Are you wanting to walk? If so, try to lerp to the other animation, which I think is really cool. What is the core change here? Basically, we will not have any combat component anymore. Because we thought about it a lot, and eventually a combat system is a combination of different tools. And mainly it is equipment management, animation management, locomotion, particle effects, things like that. And obviously damage handling. So our combat system is our attribute manager, pawn in radius component, and our equipment manager. And we did a total revamp of the equipment manager, also attribute manager, combat system, and things like that. And what we are doing right now is we created a couple of base logics from equipment. These are the actors that we spawn. So we have a base, but based on that, we have melee, ranged, range hit scans, things like that. And currently, they all have a nice parent structure. And if we want to have custom code, like a very specific melee weapon, then we can always create a child of this one and just select it in the equipment data table, just to have custom code. Instead of implementing custom code in one component, we can just switch it. However, we can also just use the base classes everywhere, which will be awesome. And the attribute manager currently now is tag based. So let me quickly show you. So first of all our items currently now have a tag, and all these tags are perfectly categorized in the categories, the subcategories, the items, things like that. And so that's very useful for a lot of things, and also for questing systems, because you don't want to have all the hard references. And the other one is the assigned attributes are now tags like this, and we can just add dynamically the tags which is awesome. And we use it also for the quest system, for the dialogue system, item management, attribute management, equipment management, things like that. Oh, by the way, and besides that, the combat system will also get an upgrade about we will have time dilation effects when having the finishing hit on an enemy, new particle effects that are improved and have better performance, camera shakes, particle post-process effects in the screen. It looks really, really well. I will show you in a later video. Another question is, what is changed about loot? Loot, basically how it was implemented before, what currently is, I think, online, just sucks. It's horrible. I'm ashamed of it. At the time, we didn't think it through well enough. Basically, what we did in every loot chest, we tried to determine, okay, what kind of loot does this need to have and things like that. So basically, if you had 1,000 loot chests in the world, then the performance was horrible in the first like 5 seconds or so, because the loot list needed to be created every time again. So now what I did the obvious choice. I created an item allocation generation component that's on the game mode, because the game mode determines, okay, what's the loot in the game and things like that. And basically this one will have functions like get random loot of loot table, get all loot of items from loot table, get random loot of loot table within int range and things like that. So and all of these values are predetermined, but also some random ones, etc. But it's highly optimized. Basically, if you have 1,000 chests in the world, then it's 1,000 times faster. And if you have 1,000,000 chests in the world, then it's 1,000,000 times faster. So now you can actually have tens of thousands of loot chests without too much problems. So that's really nice. And a very important note for this, because currently this one is just defining the loots in these loot chests, right? So here I have the item allocator advanced, and that is making sure that the items are set in this loot chest. However, well, here, and it's based obviously on an allocation list, which is really nice. However, we can also implement this for random items. So I have a random item spawner. I have that's more for props generation. Like this one, pickup master random item from loot table. So basically this one, based on the loot table that we will select, will generate a different item. So also for placement in the world and things like that, it's really cool. So I like that a lot. Let me see any other questions. Are there any changes on the pickup master? Yes, a lot. And it's so much better than it was before. Also before, it was just bad, some things. The core thing is I made an actor component for respawn actor. That has some child structure. Let me quickly show you. So I have a respawn actor base, and of that I have a child respawn actor pickup item. And I also have a respawn actor placeholder. And what it is basically doing, currently when you have like a mesh to actor swap system, and you only have a mesh in the world, right? So like this. Currently we have here a stick, a mushroom, and a stone. And these are just meshes, right? So what we are doing is when we are near them, they are swapped to being an actor. And this actor, when I am moving out of this area again, I want this one to spawn back to a mesh. However, instead of a generic manager where we try to manage all these items and things like that, and then we get discrepancies with time management because we have issues, okay, when do we reset it again? So what I did is this actor right here, this one has a respawn actor handler, That determines, okay, do I swap back to a mesh or do I swap back to an actor and things like that. Well, let's pick this one up. Now it's empty in the world. However, this actor component for the respawn management, that one has placed a placeholder in the world right here. And the placeholder, that is managing the timer. And that timer is also very optimized and is working great. And that's also managed. Do I need to respawn in radius? Do I need to respawn at all? If I respawn, do I need to respawn within an instance static mesh hierarchical instance static mesh component, which is used for PCG and things like that. So yes, there's a lot changed in the pickup item because mainly of these reasons. Also, a lot of other things like currently with the level manager things like in the pickup master, that was really bad to do. Currently, we just have the level manager, which is binding on the events in the world. These are more the static events, the predefined ones, and we also have an optional switch to dynamic events. But because of these passive binds that we do, is mainly for crafting an item, picking up an item, doing damage, being damaged, things like that. Now the level manager automatically just listens to all the events, handles it, does the logic, which is really, really nice. All right. Any other questions? Let me check. Are there any changes to DT items? Yes, a lot. Mainly the tags. Will you be updating the skill level manager to accommodate the new systems and skills that we were not previously set up, like fishing, etc.? Yes. Also with lockpicking, yes. Stealth will now work with, yeah, basically yes. That's what I just talked about. We are listening just to the event binders right now in the level manager for all the passive events, which is awesome. Are there first-person changes? Is a first-person template coming? Well, that is something that we really want to do and have on our list. However, we just have some trouble with key animations. There are a lot of very small bugs, and the reason of that, because of that, that's the reason why we're currently saying, hey, let's put that more on the backlog. Currently focus on the existing systems, and if all goes well, then yes, I want to do that. If not, then not. And that's the same answer about, hey, will there be a character creator? We have developed a full character creator. Yes, it's working. However, there are some small bugs, like the grooms do not bind well. That's more like an Unreal Engine bug, which is really annoying. In the meantime, they created that new system. What's it called? Lars also doesn't know anymore, but something with Smith, I think. Well, and some skeleton mesh assets for equipment management, things like that. Epic made that. So currently also that one we just simply put on the backlog because it just takes too much time for us. However, if you want, we can make it available, but just simply no promises, and all the metahumans are so much in your project and so much data, things like that. However, I think they optimized it recently, so maybe we could look into that again. What else? The name, by the way, was the mutable sample. The next question is, will you create examples in systems like the quest system and how to tie it in with the compass, map, dialogue systems and everything together? Yes, I will. However, that will simply be the template. So that's more like this. So we have our quest in the upper left corner. We have our world map system, which works also with beacons, things like that. We have our compass system for, hey, where do we need to walk towards to? We can, we have questing. Oh, now we're getting some coins. Nice. That was just a cheat shortcut. But yeah, I don't I'm not going to publish that right now. First, I'm just going to publish all the separate modules. But basically, the RPG template will be precisely that, and which will be cool. Nice. Another thing is about the V3 updates, and there is one question about will all systems be updated? And the answer is every system will get an update, except for one, and that is the character voice system. And the reason why is the character voice, it will still just work, it will still just be available. However, we just made a whole new dialogue system, we made a new subtitle system, just like you see right here. This is our custom subtitle system, and therefore we also made new predefined dialogue systems, real dialogue context systems. We have data asset management for that. We have custom sentences, and obviously the fixed dialogues to talk in the world and things like that. So basically, that will supersede the character voice system. It will still work for basically the examples where it's used to. However, in the templates, I will just use a whole new system for the dialogue system. And then the other questions about V2 versus V3. Retaining V2 documentations for those not updating. Well, that is a good question. I have not thought about that. I'm probably just going to print it out and just make it available somewhere else. However, my core advice would always be, if you are working on new systems, then just take the latest version. And if not, which most of you I hope you are doing, just working in your current existing projects, then I will make sure that the documentation is somewhere available. Will there be side changes to Games by Hyper? Yes. Currently, you need to log in for the demos and things like that. That's how WooCommerce set it up. I really want to make sure that people just be able to download the demo without too much hassle. I think that's just an annoying feature that I currently have implemented. It's not intended that way, but I will try to fix that. Another thing is we have our docs online on the site. It's publicly available there. I'm still considering, should I put all my documentation there? Because it's a lot of work to make it on the site. Just making a Word document is way more easy, but I probably will also upload all the documentation there. Will there be an example of upgrading V2 to V3? No. For if you really want to upgrade, I really advise you to go to my FAQ, and the most top one question is, if there is an update, should I update my own project? And basically, I have a whole plan of approach on how you should do that. But basically, that's just for advanced users. I always try to make sure that the updates within the same version, like 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, things like that, are easily or at least upgradable. But versions like V2 to V3 or V1 to V2, that's just it's just hard to do. And the main thing, what I think most people should do, if you just have a working project and you are working in an existing ecosystem, then you can just finish. I think you should just finish your game like that. Now, if you do want new features, then you can always cherry pick, right? I think that's also one of my steps that I try to describe here. So just take a look at this this advice right here, and I think that should help you. Are you planning on offering discounts to existing customers where the RPG or shooter template is created in the future? I think so, yes, but also here it's hard to figure out how to do that together with FOB, because they don't have discount codes and things like that. So then I do things with my own site, but then no reviews are allowed in most cases, which is really annoying, and there's a lot of overhead. However, Just trust me, I always try to be fair. Okay, so that's a promise that I make to you. And things like the RPG system that will basically just have a lot of new systems. So that's questing, dialogue, world map, mini map, and a lot of different tools. So I guess most of the people don't have that. So I wonder how much discount could be there. But I will just make sure that there is something fair. Sure, yeah. But it's also good to know. Currently, I'm just trying to publish all the separate modules and things like that. If you just want to wait for the templates, then you can. However, I don't know how long that's going to be. So the choice is up to you. Obviously, the templates combined will be cheaper than all the separate modules, because the modules you can cherry pick and just use what you need. The modules, you will just have a lot of things combined, and it will be just a bit more cheaper relatively in general. It's also good to know that I do aim to lower the amount of modules that are in the templates. Currently, the MST Pro, I'm not going to touch, obviously, only updating it. However, there are like 30 modules in it, and that's way too much for most of the people. All these 30 modules combined together, it's so much work and there's so much in it, and the value is insane. However, it's hard to see the value if you have so much in it. If I would do like 50% of it, people would probably not even notice what kind of modules are in it. And I think I should have made it a bit more compact, so it's a bit more affordable to most. So I think I'm going to try that with more of the RPG template and things like that. So, am I going to include the advanced NPC framework into the RPG template? Probably not. Maybe just use it only as an advanced module. Yeah, like that you could make it way more cheaper, way more affordable to most. We haven't decided on which modules are going to be in it. Obviously, all the core things. Currently, we are discussing these things in the Patreon chat. Okay, what else? Are you going to create RPG or shooter courses based on these new templates? I have not thought about it. Maybe. I don't know. Currently, my main focus will be publishing the modules, publishing the templates, make sure there's good documentation, make sure there are good videos about it. And after that, we will see. I do really like to give courses, by the way. I like to teach. So maybe, yeah, good idea. Thanks. How will abilities be added and acquired during the game? Currently, this one has now all the abilities, but we also have a learning system. We also have a technology tree and things like that. And we can learn abilities on specific spots. You can learn it by unlocking. You can learn it with level requirements. We do have a tree like this for the craftables, but also for the abilities. So yeah, there are many options there. Will the AI enemy be able to use abilities? Yes, they will. Not in the example map that we provide for the NPC framework, because I'm not going to provide the whole ability system in the NPC map. However, if you just combine them together, yes, it will work. Joost made sure that it does. Can items have unique attributes to enhance ranges, things like that? Yes. Especially with the new tag system, things like that are really easy to do. The last questions are about questing. Is there a way to make missions only be able to be attempted once? I don't think I have implemented that. However, I do think it's really easy to add. However, I do need to adjust my my quest structure a bit. But yeah, I think that could be added. Currently, it's not. but that's basically a Boolean check, which I think could easily be added. Oh, I think. Yeah, I like this. It looks nice, right? Okay. I believe these are all the questions for now. 40 minutes. Okay, nice. I hope this answers all or most of your questions. Please always feel free to reach out. I'm going to upload this video. I'm not going to edit too much to this video because I have a lot of work to do. Because I want to release these modules as best and as quickly as possible for you. Thank you all for being with me, and I hope you really have a great day. Bye. Reach the end of this video. And of course, always feel free to reach out, for instance, in the comments below via Discord or mail. And don't forget to check out our website and Discord. I'm happy to talk to you there. Have a nice day. Bye.